Welcome. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. F1 Debrief, episode 80. Spa, Belgian Grand Prix. However you want to say it. But I love this track, man. I love this track. It's one of the best tracks ever made. Legendary. It is legendary, man. Let me just put a thing on this. So mate, it's up there with what do you call it again? Le Mans and all that. I prefer this to Le Mans, to be fair. A lot of people like Le Mans. I think Le Mans alright, but it's a bit boring. But you can't beat a Rouge. The best part of a track in history, a Rouge. And that's not even the original Rouge. It still's got the same road and that, but they've kind of flattened it a little bit. You know, they kind of flattened the Rouge a little bit, but it's still the Rouge, you get me? If you want to go and watch, you want to see the older Rouge, even go back to the 2000s, the 90s, go on YouTube and watch some old classic races. And put in like Spa, Belgian Grand Prix from the 2000s or the 90s, and you see how good it was. You can actually get ones from the 70s as well, when it was really steep, you get me? But they've kind of adjusted it a little bit over the years, but it's still got that character of the Rouge. I'm actually watching now at the moment, Kimi Antonelli getting swamped by the press, by the media, by the fans. Got his security by him. He's only got one security guard, by the way. Should have a lot more than that, you know what I mean? But it is what it is. It's in the paddock. But it is what it is. But yeah, Kimi Antonelli taking the win at Spa again. And, you know, we'll see what happens. I'm just watching at the moment, guys. Sorry, bear with me. I'm just watching all the press and media. But that's what he's got to find out. He has to get a good agent. Probably got a good agent. But he's going to get someone. I think it's good that his dad's there. You know, his dad's there. Kind of helping him out and steering him in the right direction, because he is very young. He's not even 19. He's very, very young. I think he's 17, 18 years of age. So he's very young. And when you start winning stuff, and he could win a championship, or if he starts winning stuff, obviously the media, the pressure, all of it's going to be there for him. And when you're so young, you have to have someone in the back of your head or someone in your ear keep you on the straight and narrow, you get me? You can't be going off and partying. You can't be going off and, you know, there's going to be loads of people there, girls, and, you know, meat stuff. There's going to be a lot of distractions. There's going to be a lot of temptations there, but because he's young as well, his dad's got to keep him on the straight and narrow, and that's why his dad's there, and his dad's doing a good job. I actually like his dad by the looks of him, you get me? He's I like his dad. Dad stuck by him all the time, believed in him, and now his son's potentially going to be a world champion, maybe. But it's not over yet. We've got Lewis Hamilton still in there. He's second in the table. I think he's like 50 points behind Kimi Antonelli. It's a shame for George, though. It is a shame for George. We're going to get onto George as well in a minute. Look, I said before, it looks like he's getting sabotaged a little bit, if you ask me. And it all started, let me just get this chat room up. It all started, if you remember, guys, is when him and Kimi was having their little clash together. I think it was Canada. Ever since Canada, things weren't going right for George Russell, in my opinion. Since Canada. It's like someone just reined him in and said, look, you can't be doing that. Yeah, it's your teammate. And obviously they've invested a lot of money into Kimi Antonelli. But George was there first. And George, for some reason, his car has gone backwards. It's just gone backwards. There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there saying they're probably sabotaging him. I was one of them. I never actually said they're sabotaging him. I just said to myself, you know what? What's going on with George's car? At the beginning of the season, George was number one. George was number one. And Kimi, oh, don't get me wrong, Kimi was there. But George was the guy. George was the guy. And for some reason, George's pace has disappeared. And there's questions to be asked. There is questions to be asked. Where's George Pace has gone? Now, George's press conference today, I was listening to his press conference, and he said, I need to start asking some questions. He said, I need to start asking some questions because my pace was phenomenal at the beginning of the season, and now all of a sudden, the pace is gone. And you had Lazenby talking to Toto Wolff today, saying what's happened to George's pace. Why is George's pace disappeared? And when Toto heard that, he was saying to himself, Toto was, for me, it looked like he was on the defensive, if you ask me. Yeah, for me, it looked like he was on the defensive. He was going, oh, we do a lot for George, and we need to figure out what's going on with his car. We need to figure out all this and that. And Lazenby, I'm not, you know me, if you know me, I'm not the biggest fan of Lazenby, but I thought Lazenby, finally, in his F1 career, gave a good account for himself. It was a good interview because he said, where's George's pace has gone? He can't just disappear that way. And it looked like, for me, Toto Wolff was on the defensive. Sorry if I'm a bit delayed. I'm just make sure the TikTok's on as well. It looked like he was on the defensive. He really did. Toto looked like he was on the defensive when he was talking about when Lazenby was saying, where's his pace? Where's his pace? It was a simple question, really. Simple question. Where has the pace gone from George Russell's car? He's had 3 DNFs. I'm telling you, ever since Canada, go back and watch Canada. And after Canada, when him and Kimi was having that battle, and it was a good battle, by the way. It was a good battle. I love seeing two cars that are going wheel to wheel, and long as it's fair. It can even be over, not like, on the border of fair. On the border, but I like to see, this is what we watch Formula One, isn't it? We watch Formula One to watch races like this where you get two cars, two gladiators, two teammates in the same car, the same engineering, the same everything equal down the line. We like to see two teammates go at it. This is why we watch Formula One. This is why we watch Formula One. We don't watch Formula One just for someone to pull off. Yeah? To pull off at the beginning and then disappear. A bit like what Max Verstappen did in the Grand Effect era. 22, 23, 24, 25. No, 21, 22 to 24. Them seasons where he just disappeared. Nobody could catch him because the car was made for that era. Everybody was saying it doesn't matter if Max Verstappen what car he has, he'll still do it. But now he hasn't got the car. You can see it was the car all along. It was a car all along. But the point is, George Russell and Kimi Antonelli are both in equal cars, supposed to be equal cars. And for some reason, George is struggling. George hasn't just woke up one day and forgot how to drive. He just hasn't. He just hasn't. He hasn't forgot how to drive. He retires. He retires from the race. Power issues he was talking about. Power issues. He don't sit right with me, man. He don't sit right with me. Something's not right. And I think George Russell now, he probably can't wait to get to the summer break. We've got one more race. We've got Hungary. And I think after Hungary, he'll go on a 2-week vacation. And then 2 weeks before the season starts again, the factory opens. And then he'll be back in that factory and he'll be asking some serious questions. Because if I was George, I'll be asking for some serious questions. What's going on? Serious answers. George has to ask the serious questions and they've got to give it the serious answers back. Because something's not right with that car. It's just not. So, Lewis Hamilton. He had a good weekend, okay. He gets slapped with all these penalties. He clashes with George Russell. I should go back to the qualifying. Kimi Antonelli gets to qualifying, wins qualifying. Most likely we knew that was going to happen anyway. Kimi Antonelli has added a 6th pole position. He got 6th pole position now this season after setting the fastest lap in qualifying. Who didn't know that he was going to get... who didn't know that Kimi wasn't going to get pole? It was either him or George Russell, because let's face it, the Mercedes car is the fastest car on the straight. And on the corners, slow speed corners, it's probably the Ferrari. So we knew most likely Ferrari wasn't going to do good here. Even though Lewis Hamilton said today that if he wouldn't have got slapped with those penalties, we could have fought for a win. I'm not so sure if they could have fought for a win today, to be fair. I've got to come out and say, I'm not going to come out and say I think Lewis could have won. Nah, I don't think he could have won. He believes he can. Maybe he's seen something we don't see in it. So, Kimi Antonelli added his 6th pole of the season. He got a 1 minute 44.3. It was enough to seize P1 in qualifying. At the end of qualifying, the top 5 was Kimi Antonelli, Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, George Russell, and Charles Leclerc. And Lewis Hamilton was just behind Charles Leclerc in 6th place. So, what happened? The usual suspects. Comes out the woodwork. Let me guess the one I could guess. Oh, yeah. Carew. Coming out and saying, oh, Charles Leclerc, this, Charles Leclerc, that. Maybe he's figuring out the car. Lewis Hamilton has had the best of Charles Leclerc, the better of Charles Leclerc, practically all season. He's won races. He's got podiums. He's the best driver they've got at Ferrari. It's not Charles Leclerc, it's Lewis Hamilton. Told you this before. I like Charles Leclerc, yeah? And I'm not going to come at here and disrespect Charles Leclerc. I do like Charles Leclerc. I think he's a good driver. But I just don't think he's got it. He makes too many mistakes, in my opinion. He makes too many mistakes. And when it gets to wheel, he just hasn't got the edge. The only time Charles is good is when he's in front. When he's in front on the track, then he's okay. Still not the best, though. So, Lewis Hamilton has had the best of Charles Leclerc all season. And now because he has one good race, right? One good race. Because let's face it, yeah, if Lewis wouldn't have got slapped with that 5-second time penalty at the beginning of the race, which he shouldn't have got one, because even Martin Brundle and basically everybody on the Sky Sports panel, not included Carew, because you know what Carew's like. Every time something happens with Hamilton, he loves it. He loves being negative towards Lewis Hamilton. Let's just face it, the way it is. If you watch Sky Sports and you see Carew, yeah, we all know what he's like when it comes towards Lewis Hamilton. That's the way it is. That's how I look at it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not. I don't think I am. But yeah. So basically, Charles Leclerc, he finished in front of Lewis Hamilton in qualifying. So Lewis smashed up his car as well over the weekend in practice. I think where Gasly, I think it was in one of the, where Gasly went onto the gravel. Similar place, smashed off his rear wing. He just clipped the side of the apex and he went over and smashed his car into the gravel. So that was that. He had a gearbox change, no penalty though. No penalty. Max Verstappen doing good, getting the grips of the car. I got to give it him. I got to give it to Red Bull. Red Bull getting on top of the car, looking good in Spa. So I wasn't really surprised at Max Verstappen really getting second place in qualifying because he's getting on top of the car. The car looks good. Red Bull are fighting to keep Max Verstappen at Red Bull. Let's just face it the way it is. They are fighting to keep Max Verstappen. Because at the end of the day, I don't care what McLaren says, yeah. Zach Brown could come out here. I don't think Zach Brown was there this weekend, by the way. I didn't see Zach Brown anywhere. I don't care what Zach Brown says. I don't care what the media says. McLaren want Max Verstappen. They want Max Verstappen. I don't care what anyone says. They want Max Verstappen at McLaren. Zach Brown wants Max Verstappen. Yeah, big up to you, bro. Big up to you, Josh Smith. It's okay, bro. Big up. I'm just talking about it briefly. Nice for joining us today, by the way. So, yeah, basically, Max Verstappen, he's probably said to him, look, if Max Verstappen can't get regular podiums, he's going to leave Red Bull. Simple as. He will leave Red Bull. So they will do everything they can to keep Max Verstappen there. And credit to Red Bull. I'm not a big Red Bull fan, as you know, on this channel. But I will give credit where credit's due. They are making this car better for Max Verstappen. They're probably working day in and day out just to try and keep Max Verstappen at Red Bull. And like I said, McLaren wants him. They're probably coming out and saying, nah, we're happy with our two drivers. The reason why they say they're happy with their two drivers, McLaren, because it's a negotiation tactic. If they come out and says, oh, I'm not really happy with Oscar Piastri, you know. I'm not really happy with Oscar Piastri. They're not going to come out and say that, are they? Because that weakens their negotiation tool. They're coming out and saying, oh, I'm happy with the two McLaren boys, no problem. You get me? Come on, it's all about tactics and negotiation with the deal. It's the art of the deal. That's what it is. It's the art of the deal. Big up to Like It Boy. Big up to Waniak on TikTok as well. Big up, guys. If any of you guys have got YouTube as well, by the way, if any of you guys got YouTube, come over to YouTube, Solo P1, and Keep It Sports, and come over to YouTube and like the video. We need the likes on the video, guys, for the people on TikTok as well. Big up to everyone. Hope everybody's okay on this Sunday afternoon. Lovely weather. Well, it's evening now, isn't it? So basically, yeah, they need Red Bull need to keep Max Verstappen at Red Bull, because if Max Verstappen can't be competitive, he's gonna leave. It's very simple, and I don't blame him either. So at the beginning, let's do lights out. Away we go. Kimi got a good start at the beginning. Very good start. He's not really known for his starts, Kimi Antonelli. I don't think Kimi Antonelli is known for his starts. He never really does good for his starts, but he done good this time into the first corner, La Source. And Max Verstappen took him on that corner. And when I went down to the Rouge, Max was in front. But you know what it's like at this. Track. The guy who's in front doesn't always lead the race at the first lap, because you got that one big straight, as you can see behind me at the window, that big massive straight, and that gives you the guy in second and third the ultimate toll. I remember back in, I think it was 2019, 18 or 19. I was actually there as well at Spa. I think it was 2018, 2019. I think it was 2019. He said, what is that year I went? And I remember I was on the side right there on the Rouge. I mean, on the Rouge. And I saw the car. Lewis was in front and Vettel was right behind him in second place. Because Lewis got the pole, but Vettel was second. And I always thought to myself, when you're second here, you can get the best toe in it. So basically, it was going down the straight, yeah? And Thingy got the massive toe. He got the huge toe. Massive. Yeah, he got the massive toe off Lewis Hamilton, Vettel, back in 2018, 2019. And the same thing happened here. Kimi was in, Max Verstappen was in front, and Kimi got the charge of the battery, emptied the battery on the straight and passed Max Verstappen. So in the first, after the first straight, Kimi was in front of Max Verstappen. And this is where it all started to go wrong. Lewis Hamilton went wrong for Russell. Russell was right there with him. I think he was in third or fourth place because of the straight line speed of the Mercedes. And then he had a little clash with George Russell. Not with Lewis Hamilton, George did. He had a little clash with Lewis Hamilton. And George went a little bit onto the gravel and he said he had engine issues as well. So George was out the race. At this point, I thought to myself, there's no way Lucy's going to get a penalty for this. Even though they said it was going to the stewards and going to have a look, I thought, no, it's not going to happen. Martin Brundle also said as well on commentary, there's no way Lucy's going to get a penalty for that. There was nowhere for Lewis to go. Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere for Lewis to go. And all Lewis could do is just, he didn't even turn into George. He just thought there was a gap there. He went for it and that was it. George went out the race, battery issues as well, power issues, he said. So George was out the race. A few laps after, they gave Lewis a penalty. 5-second time penalty. So that's just dismantling his race. If he's got any chance of getting on the podium, that's not going to happen. Yeah, basically. So as the race went on, like I said, the safety car come out as well. I think the safety car come out after that. I think the only one that came in after the safety car was hard tyres. The only person that came in, I think it was Lando Norris. So when I had the safety car, Lando Norris came in and had the hard tyres. So I think that was a good strategy for Lando Norris because I think by then, obviously, he took a penalty for his gearbox. So, yeah, I agree. So basically, yeah, that's what they did anyway. That's what they did. He had a gearbox, so he was at the back of the grid. But Lando Norris did make up a bit of time, and then he went into the pits at the right time with the safety car, and he put on the hard tyres, which was good strategy by Lando Norris. On the restart, Hamilton passed Piastri, used all his power down the straight, emptied all his battery on the straight, and to pass Piastri. Then Leclerc passes him back. Leclerc passed Piastri as well before the Rouge. So at this point, it was Antonelli in front, Leclerc, Verstappen, Piastri, and Hamilton by lap 8. Lap 8, Piastri and Leclerc was having a good tussle. And it was similar. They both clashed as well. The thing about it, Piastri and Leclerc clashed. They clashed each other. They actually clashed. And we all thought that Leclerc was probably going to get a penalty because it was kind of similar to Hamilton's. But what happened? Leclerc didn't get a penalty. No further action. So just like the guy says in the chat room, Josh Smith, he said they're desperate not to let Lewis win his 8th title. No comments, but you know where I stand on that as well. Lap 9, Hamilton passes Piastri on the straight. So Hamilton's still fighting back, still showing his speed. Even though his car was slightly damaged, he was still showing his speed. So there was an interview during the race with George Russell. And it was Craig Slater, Sky Sports commentator, Craig Slater said to himself, what do you think what happened with Lewis and yourself? He was talking to George. George said it was a racing incident. So even George Russell, the guy that clashed with Lewis Hamilton, said it was a racing incident. So you thought at that point then that the stewards are going to say, you know what? It's going to be a racing incident. And what happened not long after? They gave him a 5-second time penalty. So as the race was progressing, you could see that Lando Norris was gaining on everybody. The best strategy was the hard tyres. I don't know why they didn't do that with Lewis when they pitted him in. I put the hard tyres on and let him go for the long one. Bit like what Lando was doing, because it was working. The hard tyres, I thought the hard tyres was the best. Was the best strategy, the hard tyres for this track. So virtual safety car comes out. Kimi pitted on lap 19. McLaren allowed Piastri to pass. This is what pissed me off as well. When I knew that Lewis Hamilton was on a 5-second time penalty, he was faster than Charles Leclerc. He was right behind Charles Leclerc. Lewis came out on the radio and said, look, I'm faster than Charles Leclerc. Why didn't they let Lewis pass Charles? Because he's already got a 5-second time penalty. So that would have helped out Lewis Hamilton as well. Charles still would have been in front because he had that 5-second time penalty. So I don't understand why. This is before Lewis served it. I don't know why they didn't let Lewis pass Charles, but they didn't. Stupid Ferrari again. When it came to the McLarens, they did it in a similar scenario. They let Piastri had the better strategy than Lando. Oh, Lando was behind because obviously he had to pit again. And they said to Piastri, you move over for Lando Norris, and they did it. But Ferrari never. Again, slow with the strategy, Ferrari. Always slow. So lap 21, virtual safety car come out again. Both Ferraris pitted. Lewis pit with, he had a mechanical problem. There was something wrong with the engineer. One of the mechanical guys got stuck behind the car. He didn't hurt himself. It looked like it hurt himself at the beginning, but Lewis Hamilton illustrated on the radio. He said if the guy was all right, the one with the wheeljack guy. And they said, nah, he's fine, he's fine. Lap 31, Norris pitted. Norris could have been in the top 5, I think, at the end of the race, but he came into the pits at lap 31. He pitted, he had a 7.9 second delay. The rear jack man couldn't get the wheel off. He got stuck. I saw him, he tried his best. Nothing wrong with the pit gun. The wheel just got stuck, it happens. He lost out. He could have been in 6th place, but when he came at the pits, he was in 8th place. Leclerc was in front at this time because Leclerc had a cheap pit stop. Look, I love Crafty, yeah. And I know what Crafty doing, this is his job, and Crafty was saying when Leclerc got that cheap pit stop at when he got that cheap pit stop, he said to himself, maybe Leclerc could probably not win the race, but he'll have a chance. There's no way. I don't care if Leclerc is 10 seconds. I don't care if Leclerc is 10 seconds in front of Kimi Antonelli in that car at Spa. There's no way Leclerc's going to keep Kimi Antonelli behind him. It's just not going to happen. So Kimi passes Leclerc on the straight on lap 34. Hamilton, lap 40, passes Piastri. So finally, Hamilton passes Piastri. And after that, once Kimi finally passed Leclerc, Leclerc tried. He tried his best to try and hold on to Kimi, but with that power of that Mercedes on the straight, was nothing going to happen. So the finish was Kimi Antonelli got the win, and Charles Leclerc got second, Max Verstappen got third, Lewis Hamilton got fourth. We're still waiting for if he's going to get a penalty, by the way. We're still waiting if Lewis Hamilton's going to get another penalty regarding unsafe release in the pit as well. That's another thing what happened with the guy was I think the guy was trying to put the wheel on and he got stuck or something. Yeah, and what happened is they're going to try and do Lewis for that as well. So we're still waiting for that result. Nothing's coming yet at the moment. And if it comes up, I'll put it on X. But Lewis Hamilton got 4th place. Lewis Hamilton at the moment is in 2nd place now, 159 points. Second place behind Kimi Antonelli, who's got 204. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. I know the next race will be in Budapest, Hungary. If you know about Hungary, that suits the next two races, Hungary and Azerbaijan, will suit the Ferrari car. Them slow speed corners and little corners, that's where Ferrari is at its best. Plus, in Hungary, Lewis Hamilton, one of Lewis Hamilton's favourite tracks. I think he's won it 7 times, by the way. So he's a master around Hungary as well. There's a lot of tracks where he's a master, but one of them is Hungary. And if he goes to Hungary and they're getting an engine upgrade as well, they're getting a power unit upgrade. So we're going to see how that works out. Ferrari should be the favourites to win Hungary. That's all I'm saying. And that's next week as well. It's next week's going to be the last race before the summer break. And if Ferrari win the next 2 races and Hamilton, hopefully it's Hamilton, then it's going to be game on. So the championship's not over yet. I got people telling me, oh, it's over. It's going to be Antonelli's year. No, it's not over. We're not even halfway through the season yet. There's upgrades. There's different tracks. This season is track Pacific. That's what it is. I think Lewis Hamilton will do good at Hungary. It's going to be big upgrades coming. And the engine upgrade, the power unit upgrade will be next week at Hungary. They already had the engine upgrade. Now they're having the power unit upgrade. So they go together and you're going to see how fast they are. Plus, it's going to be at Hungary as well, which suits their car down to the T. The Ferrari car. If you've been following Formula One this season, you know when it comes to the slow speed corners, the car that belongs to a Ferrari. So we're going to see what happens. Season's not over yet. But regarding George Russell, I feel sorry for George Russell. But I hope they sort it out. Imagine being George Russell. You've been at that team. He's been at that team for years under Mercedes, and then you got this young kid come along and he's winning everything. And the thing about it, when you're a driver and you're coming to a race weekend, if you don't trust your tools that you got, if you don't trust your car, you're never going to be positive, never going to be ruthless on the track. Because if you don't trust your car, it's over. Now, what George needs to do during this summer break, he needs to start speaking to his engineers and telling them what's going on with the car. Why is it working for Kimi Antonelli and not working for me? That's what he's going to do. So, that's the end of the review. I'm glad everybody joined us today. Remember, guys, the people on TikTok, come over to YouTube as well and like the video. Like and share. It's so essential for us to like for the likes on the video. I appreciate the TikTok people. I do appreciate it. But if you've got YouTube, just type in Solo P1 Keep It Sports. You'll see me live at the moment, and come over and smash the like and subscribe as well. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. Yeah, we've got 17,472 subscribers. So, guys, this is also streaming on Total Hammer's channel as well. He's on holiday. He's part of the group as well, part of the channel Total Hammer. He's on holiday at the moment. So, this is also streaming on his channel as well. And if you're watching it on Total Hammer's channel, like it as well. Well, because Keep It Sports is me and Toto's channel, but he's got his racing channel as well, and this is streaming on his racing channel. So, guys, I'm going to be heading off now. And that's it, man. Big up to everyone. Big up to everyone, man. Enjoy the rest of your evening. If you're going to watch the World Cup later, I'm not. Can't be asked. I ain't watching no World Cup, man. I can't be bothered. I'm bored of that now. Last question. They'll try and penalise anywhere they can unfortunately be biased against him. Yes, they expected upgrades, and big up, mate. Appreciate the debrief. Yeah, big up to you, bro. Thanks for joining us today anyway, guys. Big up to everyone. See you later. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Bye.